So, you're wondering why I collect, eh? Well, in short, now, collecting, of course, is a fairly common hobby. I'm not just talking about animatronics like this, but, things like Pokemon cards, toy cars, model trains, things like that. Collecting is a pretty common thing to do. Now, why did I go from collecting all sorts of stuff to collecting nearly exclusively these big, bulky hunks of metal? Well, basically, these things have something of an attachment to me. Or more accurately, I have an attachment to them. Now, you may ask, why is that, Glenn? Is it just that Halloween is your favorite holiday, or what? You just have fun with the holiday? Well, yeah, obviously. It's very much my favorite holiday. It used to be Christmas because, free shit, but then I realized, wow, Halloween is so much more fun, oh my god. But, realistically, the decorating had started a couple of generations ago in my family. Really, it all started back in 60s, 70s, around that era. My grandfather, Glenn the First, bless his heart, he would go to department stores around the holiday time, and he would buy these big old blow mold plastic lights to put outside the house. There was a bunch of them, and he would kind of spread them, him and my grandmother would spread them throughout the yard. Now, they did this for both Halloween and Christmas, and these two right here behind me are two actually from, I believe these two, this one I know was made in the 70s, and this one I believe was made in like 1993, but these both came from my grandmother's shed. And these were originally what my grandfather would use to decorate the house. This habit of over-decorating to an almost comical extent at the time sort of extremely passed down to my father, because he also got a lot of enjoyment out of this stuff back then. And so it passed down to him once he finally bought his own house and, started his own family. And that was the time when inflatables were becoming really big, pretty much replacing blow molds altogether as the main thing you'd put outside your house during the holidays. So my dad invested in a ton of those. We would put them up every year around Halloween, Christmas, sometimes Easter if we were feeling really quirky, and then Thanksgiving. We always had one massive turkey in the front. That all sort of took a step forward when my 7-year-old ass discovered a quirky little store called Spirit Halloween in 2013. And I discovered it through a couple of YouTubers who I used to watch, namely Jobian Videos. Now, back then, I was extremely afraid of life-size props. Dude, I could not go near them. It was fucking sad. But I was still absolutely fascinated by them on video. I could never approach one in real life, but on video, I was so interested in the mechanics, and also just the characters and the looks and everything that went into it. And for a while, I found it much more engaging than, inflatables. And so I would talk to my family about it. I would rant to them about the mechanics of this stuff with my very limited 7-year-old knowledge. And then eventually we went to Spirit in, as I said, 2013. And that was the first year I went, and it was an experience. The first props that I were faced with, and the reason I have a pretty special connection with some of these props, were Bloody Bag of Jokes, Vacuum Hole over there, and the one I particularly remember being good old Thrashing Clown. I vividly remember that day. I went in there with my grandmother, and of course I was presented with a clown train because that was the front theme for that year. Great theme. Great starting year. Absolutely fucking terrified of everything there. I don't remember many of the props. I do remember seeing Dead Humor, but he was in the upright position. I think he was off. The clown mirror was not in its usual display spot. It was on the front desk. I remember I kept walking up there and activating it. But I mainly remember Thrashing Clown. Now, he was off. I guess he was also broken. But they had him turned around for some reason. And because of that, the fact that the chair was turned around entirely, when my grandmother and I went over to the costume sections, I just saw his fucking face staring right back at me, and I nearly pissed myself. And I just kind of wanted to leave at that point. Yeah, I was a huge pussy back then. I guess it makes sense. I was 7. Nevertheless, I continued being very fascinated by them, and I continued to look up more and more videos of different ones that I found really interesting. And I just found out about them through different YouTube channels and other people who were really interested in this kind of stuff, you know? And that was the point when I found out that people actually collected it. I started looking up all these props, and I would just see them generally, and I just started falling in love with a lot of them. Like Bone Collector, Zoltan, Beheaded Bride right behind me, same with Twilight Twitcher, Limb Ripper, Face Ripper, just all of these amazing props. Hell, Headbanging Zombie, Deadlift Zombie, ones that were made way before I even got into this shit. I just loved all of them. And I wanted a lot of them, but the thing is that, again, at that time, I was so fucking scared of these things. But there was one prop in particular that I was not scared of. And that's because it's not a very good prop. Surprised? I've got a pretty long history with this prop. In 2014, I think, I saw that Spirit's website still had a couple of her. I guess since, you know, she didn't really sell terribly well through 2012, they still had 1 or 2 left in stock. I think that they just had 2 sitting in a warehouse, and then at that point they discounted her. Fun fact, I actually bought her at full price because I bought her a little bit before they actually released the discount. I bought her for $200, and I had to beg my parents for it because I was like, what, 8, 9? And so I got her. That wasn't this one. My first one was broken from out the box. It didn't go down all the way. It was fucking weird. And since it wouldn't go down all the way, she wouldn't fit back in the box. So Spirit, in their desperate attempt to try to get rid of these fucking things, they gave me this one for free. And this one has pretty much fully worked since then. But that's besides the point. This prop is what made me stop being so scared of props. And so this Gemmy Ghost Girl kind of impacted that part of my life a lot, honestly. And I'm still pretty glad to have her. She's not a great prop, as I said, but I still love her nonetheless. I haven't recorded in about a week. I have a honky now. But anyway, on to my modern life regarding this stuff. I still collect it, very obviously. It's fun. Hi, Isaac. I've gotten much better with actually letting go of stuff, so I'm not as much of a hoarder as I was like a year ago. It got bad for a while, but thankfully, I actually realized, oh hey, I'm running out of space. So I started selling some of the stuff to other collectors. I'm still particular on what I'll be able to, or be willing to give up, but regardless. Luckily for me, I make most of my own money when it comes to, you know, getting this stuff, and again, I've started selling some of the stuff as of late, so I'm able to make more money to get it. And thankfully, I've been raised in a family that also really enjoys Halloween, and I also was able to find a partner who really loves Halloween. And she loves this stuff. It's great.
Huh? Oh yeah, we love it.
And even Isaac loves them too, see? Isaac, no! But anyway, many people collect for many different reasons. Obviously my story is going to be different than everybody else's, but I just thought I would share mine with you and my motivations and my general story regarding this stuff, because a lot of it is really special to me. So anyway, that's really about it for the video. I gotta go piss.